Hey viewers, welcome to Joe's Bench. I'm Joe, and thanks for coming. Today I want to talk about what I consider a factory fail from Heritage. So when I picked this gun up, I should have probably noticed it at the store, but I didn't. When I got it home, I noticed that the firing pin was wiggle-waggling in its spot. Hold on, I'll show you guys. It's safe. Have the orange in there right now, and just so you guys know, I actually like these little discs. Number one, they quickly let you know that the gun is safe. The chamber will not fit in the gun if you have bullets in here and try to put that orange thing on. Plus, God forbid anybody dry fires your gun, they prevent dry firing. So your firing pin will actually just hit that nice soft plastic. So anyways, as you can see, it's safe. Safety on. Safety first. So anyways, this thing was right there. We'll go to safe. That little guy right there, obviously it's since been fixed, but she was just waggling back and forth, and if you basically did this, it would just disappear into the frame. So called Heritage the next day, told them about the issue. They were, quick to send it. Honestly, I not only called them about it, I actually had made an order that day too. Bought myself a nice little gun rug for it and some other doodads. So I ordered one. It was $2. It was so cheap I couldn't resist. And basically I just wanted it quickly, so I wasn't sure if they were going to send it as quickly as from the store as they would maybe from a warranty repair. So I was going shooting that weekend. I really wanted to get myself one, so ordered one. Long story short, so got to have an extra, but could probably use it for something else. Not a big deal. I told them I didn't want to send this gun in for a fix. Not necessary. A lot of people probably would need to. That's just kind of tricky. Definitely far from impossible, but I don't know if everyone's going to be comfortable with it. So this is actually the firing pin is the hardest thing to get out of the gun. It actually is the hardest thing to get out of the gun, but it's definitely the hardest thing to put into the gun. It's much harder to get in than it is to get out. So here, I'll show you what's going on here. So number one, we first have to half cock, open the loading gate, hit the button, grab that, pull that out. So see if I can get this on camera well. Okay, so you can see in there that there's this little round thing here. So that is, I'm not sure the exact name for it, but it's basically the firing pin and spring cup. So that is a press fit into there. So let me see. So really the best move forward is to take this lower frame piece off. Let me get this back down again. So when you're doing this, you really need to take this lower frame piece off, which comes down to taking 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 screws out. Pull that. Once that's away, that'll have to be your spring and all the trigger and stuff. Not the trigger, but the spring and the body here. And then you just pull out that screw right there. And then you can remove the hammer. Once that's out of the way, then you're going to take a punch. Well, first of all, you're going to punch that pin out right there, which is a little trickier because it's got a rounded end on it. You don't want to mess it up, and you don't want to mar up the frame. So be careful punching that out. Once that's out, then you're going to punch right on top of the firing pin, and that'll punch the cup out this way. So that's easy enough. That's actually not a big deal at all. The hard part really is getting it back together. And it's, you know, it may take you once or twice, or it may take you, 2-3 times to get it. So really the trick is because this pin intersects that cup, so that hole for the pin is basically like half of that hole is into that diameter of that cup. It locks that all into place. You got to get that cup in and have that cutout perfectly lined up with that pin, or almost perfectly lined up with that pin. So that's really the tricky part of that, of getting it back together. How I did that, and once again, I'm not sure if everybody's got just stock sitting around and can just do this. But I happen to have one of these out of an old filing cabinet, which I basically shot down the shaft here all the way through, and then it's still not lined up well enough to nail it in, so then you have to use something else too, which in my case I used a chunk of aluminum and sat that in there like so, and lined it up and used that to knock that cup in. I also used a nice straight, very small piece of like stiffer wire. So when I started the cup, because it's like I say, it's a press fit, when I started it, I took the stiff wire and I laid it on top of that cutout, and then I moved the cup in such a way to where I had that piece of wire lined up with the flat of this frame, and then proceeded to tap that cup in, and watched, and actually got it on the first time. It wasn't dead on. I had the cup flat in. It actually doesn't have to be quite flat in, or at least mine doesn't. So it actually moved out a hair. So it did right itself ever so slightly, but it was fine, and we got it fixed. So, but anywho, that is, as I said, a bummer, because typically I wouldn't have removed that. I, always do a full cleaning on a gun when I first get it, but I probably wouldn't have actually. That's probably the only thing that I wouldn't have removed, because it's tricky. It's so tricky to get back in, and I could have lived without it. But as it stands, I got to polish that all up, and I haven't had any light hammer strikes with this thing or anything like that. But anywho, I won't keep you too long. I also do want to point out that one of the other things I didn't like about the Rough Rider was the plastic ejector handle. I'm sure no one does. So I do want to point out that I am making these, and they are for sale. I'm going to put the eBay link in the description. I have about 40 of these things, so at least at the time of the video. So and if they sell out, then great. Then I'll make a bunch more. But anyways, if you're interested, check them out and get yourself one. Nice thing about the metal ones, they won't break or anything like that. They are silver. They're aluminum. It had to be aluminum because it's got to ride up and forth in this housing, and you wouldn't want steel or anything else riding in there. Besides really aluminum is the softest. So yeah, if you're interested in that, the link will be there. Other than that, have a great day. Thanks for coming. If you like the content, please like and subscribe, hit the thumbs up, whatever, all that jazz. But anyways, have a great day.